In August 1970, a chilling turn of events unfolded as Elvis Presley returned to Vegas for a highly anticipated show. What happened next would expose the king of rock and roll to a level of danger he had never faced before. As Elvis prepared for his show, the author found themselves in a unique position, providing medical care to Elvis while balancing a busy practice in Memphis. This unusual arrangement meant the author would travel back and forth between Memphis and Vegas, treating Elvis when he was performing and returning home to tend to other patients. Elvis' concern for safety took an alarming turn when he shared a disturbing kidnapping threat with the author. The threat was serious, focusing on the safety of his daughter, Lisa Marie. This wasn't just paranoia, Elvis had good reason to fear. The nation was gripped by violence, with the recent murders of Sharon Tate and her friends by the Manson cult sending shockwaves across the country. Just years prior, Martin Luther King Jr. and Robert F. Kennedy had fallen to assassins' bullets, their deaths occurring close to places Elvis frequented. These events were not distant threats, but reminders that danger could knock at anyone's door. Elvis was no stranger to the media's fascination with violence. The brutal murders in Beverly Hills weighed heavily on him. He believed assassins targeted the biggest names, and with his status, he was a potential target. His fear was rooted in reality, making his heightened security measures understandable, even if they seemed excessive to others. To bolster protection, Elvis had customized tour jackets made for his security team and close friends. These jackets weren't just for show, they served a crucial purpose. They marked the individuals who were Elvis' first line of defense, allowing him to quickly identify where his security was during a performance. This system was vital because security was a constant concern, not just during shows but everywhere Elvis went. However, this increased focus on security brought its own set of problems. Fans, eager to catch a glimpse of Elvis, began to push the boundaries, leading to complaints about the behavior of some of his bodyguards. These guards, lacking proper training for crowd control, sometimes resorted to strong-arm tactics. Elvis' fear of kidnapping and assassination led him to take drastic measures, including applying for deputy sheriff badges for those close to him. This allowed them to carry concealed weapons, a move that made Elvis feel more in control. Elvis' interest in guns deepened, transforming him into an avid collector. He even went so far as to arm his entire entourage, dubbed the Memphis Mafia, to protect them from any potential threats. His fascination with law enforcement went beyond mere protection. Elvis began mimicking police work, listening to police scanners, and even pulling over speeding drivers to issue verbal warnings. As an honorary captain in the Memphis Police Department and a special deputy for Shelby County, Elvis reveled in the role, often stepping in before official police arrived at crime scenes. Despite the attention and the security, Elvis' life was becoming increasingly complicated. His first road tour since the 1950s was set to begin on September 9, 1970. The tour meant traveling from city to city under constant spotlight and filming a documentary that would further expose his life to the public eye. Elvis was in charge of every aspect of his stage show, from costumes to choreography, adding immense pressure to his already hectic schedule. The mental and physical strain was taking its toll. Elvis confided in the author, expressing a desire to escape Memphis for a while. He needed someone to talk to, someone who could listen without judgment. The author realized that Elvis wasn't just seeking entertainment or distraction. He needed a sounding board to relieve the mounting pressure of his life on the road. As the tour kicked off, Elvis' health began to falter. He struggled with the flu, unable to perform at his best. The author stayed in Las Vegas to care for Elvis, but the absence from home took a toll on personal and professional life. Other doctors had to step in, creating a chaotic schedule that made it difficult to manage Elvis' medical needs and the author's own patients. Elvis' journey was far from over, and the challenges only seemed to grow. As he stepped onto the road, the king of rock and roll faced not just the thrill of performing but the very real dangers that came with it. The line between fame and fear was thin, and Elvis was navigating it with courage and determination, even as the world around him grew more unpredictable. As Elvis's trusted doctor, my role became even more crucial when Elvis started relying on me for more complex medical issues. I had always valued diagnostics and helping others, but sometimes, even with my training, I faced challenges beyond my expertise. In those cases, I reached out to specialists for guidance. One pivotal moment happened on March 16, 1971. Elvis called from Nashville, saying he had severe pain in one eye and had to leave a recording session. He didn't want to go to the hospital, but I knew it was necessary. I quickly contacted Dr. Spencer Thornton, an old professor and top ophthalmologist who had treated Elvis before. Dr. Thornton was alarmed. The pain was inside Elvis's eye, near delicate nerves and blood vessels. This was a serious situation that could harm his vision. I arranged for Elvis to stay at Nashville's Baptist Hospital Hotel. I flew Dr. David Mayer, Tennessee's top ophthalmologist, to give a second opinion. We traveled in a plane piloted by Fred Smith, who later founded FedEx. During the flight, I shared Elvis's medical history, focusing on his migraines and Reiter syndrome, which had caused early-onset glaucoma. When we arrived at the hotel, Dr. Mayer examined Elvis right away. Elvis was cooperative but soon learned the gravity of his condition. Dr. Mayer explained that Elvis's eye was extremely painful and swollen, with pressure so high it could damage his vision permanently. The pressure was over 80, much higher than normal. Elvis was shocked but tried to joke, asking if Dr. Mayer had done this before. Dr. Mayer was serious. He told Elvis he had two options: surgery to make a hole in the iris or an immediate steroid injection to reduce pressure. If nothing was done, Elvis could lose his sight. Elvis, ever the quick wit, asked if Dr. Mayer had done this before. With a smile, Dr. Mayer confirmed he had and assured Elvis it was the lesser of two evils. The room was tense as Dr. Mayer prepared to inject the steroid directly into Elvis's eye. The space was small and every movement had to be precise. Barbara Lee, an actress visiting for the recording session, held Elvis's hand for support. Dr. Mayer worked carefully and Elvis surprisingly remained still, showing remarkable self-control. Almost immediately, the pressure in Elvis's eye dropped. Dr. Mayer was impressed by Elvis's discipline, comparing it to Elvis's karate training. Within hours, Elvis's condition improved significantly. Dr. Mayer and I returned to Memphis, relieved that immediate action had saved Elvis's vision. This incident highlighted the importance of teamwork in medicine. When faced with challenges beyond our expertise, seeking help from specialists is crucial. It also showed Elvis's resilience, using humor to cope with a serious situation. His ability to stay calm under pressure, possibly honed through his karate training, played a vital role in that moment. The experience reinforced the bond between Elvis and his medical team, ensuring that he received the best care possible. As time went on, Elvis's tour became less like the thrilling adventures they once were, and more like a routine he had to keep up with. After his big success in New York City, where everyone wanted to see him and tickets sold out super fast, Elvis felt the excitement start to fade. He and his band found themselves traveling from one place to another, performing show after show. The thrill of a new city was soon replaced with the hard work of preparing for another performance. Elvis loved performing, but even he felt the weight of constant travel and shows. Imagine if you had to give a big speech or perform in front of people every single day. It would get tiring, right? That's what Elvis faced. He was not just singing, he was putting on an entire show with lights, costumes, and all, night after night. It was exhausting, both physically and mentally. Although Elvis was used to a tough schedule, even he found it hard to keep up. People around him, including his family, started to notice he wasn't himself. He was tired, and it showed. His voice, which was his biggest tool on stage, started to suffer from the constant strain. He needed rest, but there was always another show waiting for him. One of the biggest challenges Elvis faced was dealing with the heat and bright lights. The bright lights were not just annoying, they made his migraines worse and hurt his sensitive eyes, which he had to protect with dark glasses even when it wasn't sunny. It's like if you had to stare at a really bright light for a long time, it would hurt your eyes, right? That's what Elvis experienced regularly. Despite the struggles, Elvis kept going because of his fans. He could feel their excitement and energy, and it gave him the strength to keep performing. When he gave his all, even when he was tired, his performances became even more powerful. It was as if the more he gave, the more he received from his audience. However, Elvis's world wasn't all glitter and glory. He faced tough times too. One day, he found out his close friends and aides, the Stanley brothers, were using drugs. This was a big shock to Elvis because he had always taught them to stay away from drugs and alcohol while working for him. He felt responsible for them as he had given them their first big breaks in the entertainment world when they were young. Elvis was upset and worried about how to help them. He knew using drugs was wrong, but he also cared deeply for the Stanley brothers. It was hard for him because he wanted to protect them but didn't know how. This personal worry added to his stress, making his already tough life even more complicated. As Elvis and his band, including the new member Joe Esposito, traveled to their next destination from Tulsa, Oklahoma, they could feel the excitement dwindling. The thrill of the tour was replaced by the routine of it all. Elvis and his band members were tired of the constant moving and performing. They longed for a break, a chance to rest and recharge. Even though the tour was becoming routine, Elvis never lost his passion for performing. He knew that behind the scenes, his team worked hard to make each show special. But for Elvis, the real challenge was keeping his energy and enthusiasm alive, both for himself and for the fans who eagerly awaited each performance. In the end, Elvis's story is one of incredible talent, unwavering dedication, and the struggles that come with living life in the spotlight. His journey reminds us that even the brightest stars face challenges, and it's how they overcome them that truly defines their legacy.